um, so that like if you walk into a brush that your opponent has a pink ward in, or anywhere, you know, that has an enemy unit, you'll start attacking it instead of just walking by it. I've seen so many players just like completely miss pink wards, or even regular wards that they had pink wards over, because they're just not paying attention. So you'll see I just automatically start attacking that minion. It doesn't do it to jungle camp, so don't worry about like randomly aggroing jungle as you walk by. Do be a little bit careful, because sometimes it can cause you to like turn in a weird direction if you happen to walk by something. But it's a pretty good habit to get into, especially, you know, if you're like looking at some other part of the map. You can just attack move and keep looking at it. So yeah, for sieging Baron and Dragon, one thing that you can do if you have a Sightstone, which I'll be able to afford in one minion here. One thing you can do if you have a Sightstone is you can spam wards into the Dragon or Baron pit, or wherever, like any spot where your opponent is trying to clear out wards. You can spam wards and it'll just stall them for a long time. So that's actually a really good way to stop teams from sneaking Baron, because there's honestly nothing they can do to stop you from just keep continuing to place wards over the wall. Like, especially, you know, if they don't have a pink ward. If they do, you can waste their time, but they can keep clearing out your wards. But if they don't, you can just do this like forever. Then, you know, they get 2 hits on this, you place another ward and it goes away. They get 2 hits on this ward, place it and it goes away, you know, etc., etc. So you can just stall them forever. So like, if they have a pink ward, it's a good stall tactic. If they don't have a pink ward and they only have sweepers, you can actually waste the entire duration of their sweeper by doing that. And like, that's not just over walls at Baron and Dragon. You can do that anywhere if you just want to like avoid letting people clear out your wards. Actually, and that's another thing I want to talk about. Because old wards that you placed are destroyed when you place new ones, what you can do is, if you notice that your opponent is killing a ward somewhere on the map that you placed, and it was like the last ward that you placed, and this is especially good for pinks because you can only have one, you don't have to keep track of which one is which. But if you have a good spot nearby where you can put a ward, just drop it, and then, you know, if they were like killing this ward, then they wouldn't get the gold for it, and I would get to put another ward down, absolutely no problems. So I mean, they still get to clear out your ward, but it wastes, they don't get the extra gold, which is a nice advantage. Like, that's not going to be useful too often, but if you happen to notice it happening, like especially with pink wards, it's really good. So like, oh, they're clearing out my pink ward of Dragon, let's place one right here, because why not? And oh, once you have a Sightstone, sell this baby and get yourself a sweeping lens. Alright, so you sell this and get your sweeping lens, because this gives you the maximum amount of wards that you can have down on the map at any given time. So you don't need to buy any more wards, you don't need to have any more sources of wards. Like, maybe if you ever are out of base and you need to place more than 4 wards, like, you could have extras, but I mean, you can still have that pink. It's just having this sweeping lens at that point is so powerful, because you can maximize your vision just with the Sightstone, and then you can also clear out your opponent's vision with the sweeping lens.
Armed and ready.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Okay, yeah, actually, Tuzaki's gonna go ahead and jump into a game with me and help show me some stuff, so. Yeah, I guess that's because my client crashed. Okay, so I gotta relog the client, but I talked about most of the stuff I wanted to talk about for wards. Trinkets, I'm gonna go over a little bit, because there's some interesting stuff with trinkets that you might not realize that might not be immediately obvious. I talked about most of the warding stuff, but all of your trinkets you can upgrade for 475 gold after you hit level 9 because they get automatically upgraded at level 9. And then you can get an upgrade. So for your totem, you can get either a regular pink ward or a regular stealth ward, and they are full duration. You know, none of the stupid like limited duration stuff going on. But then of course the Oracle's Lens is a really powerful one because that gives your character true sight for 8 seconds. And that is really powerful. Because you can see stealthed enemies, and normally the sweeping lens doesn't allow you to do that. You can also see stealthed or you can also like walk around and clear out an entire area of wards, which of course is more useful if your opponent isn't nearby because you can't just clear out the wards instantly. Yeah, let's go ahead and get in raid call. Alright. Zaki, just waiting on you. I guess he relogged. But what else? I'm not going to talk about specific like numbers on... Well, actually I will because I have a little bit of time. I wasn't going to. You can look on the League of Legends wiki. What is that? The address. leagueoflegends.wikia.com is a really good resource for figuring stuff out. And that'll give you up-to-date numbers because like if I say numbers on this stream, then they'll change in some patch in the future. But the level 1 warding totem you can only lasts 60 seconds and it's on an 120 second cooldown, so be careful when you're using that first warding totem because there will be an entire minute when you don't have vision. So yeah, just be really careful about it. That's where having your allies help you out or just buying a regular stealth ward can be really good. The sweeping lens is not the greatest thing to start out with. The exception would be if you're gonna make some kind of aggressive play early on. Then clearing out your opponent's vision can be good, but just for like lane phase and stuff like that, not nearly as good because the trinket, the totem trinket, the warding totem cooldown is so much shorter that they can just replace their ward before your sweeper comes off cooldown, so you can't like permanently deny them vision with it. It's nice, but not like ideal. So actually I'm gonna go ahead and pick, and I think he's in raid call before me. Hey, what's going on, guys? Member invitation. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and pick Lee Sin, so we're jumping.
Do you want me to pick Timo because the move seed?
Whatever.
Here, we'll have a mirror match up. Lee Sin mirror match.
Alright. I hope they can hear you. I've had issues in the past with people not being able to hear other people. Ah! Where'd he go? Whatever. Okay.
Where did I go?
Let's go to here. Okay. And I'm just gonna do my masteries to maximize the amount of gold that I start with. And also my CDR. Let's get some increased maximum mana.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
On your stream.
Oh, hold on, say something.
Testing, testing, testing.
Yeah, they can hear you.
Okay.
Alright, I've got all the mana regen that I will ever need.
On Lee Sin,
Uh-huh.
which is none.
Yep. Okay, so what else did I want to talk about? Yeah, okay, there are only 2 trinkets that can reveal stealth champions, and that is the pink, the greater vision totem, which places a pink ward, and the Oracle's Lens. And the Oracle's Lens is typically better, but if you still need to like have a ward down, the greater vision totem trinket is not bad. But you know, that's up to you. Generally, on champions that aren't going to be split pushing, you want to switch to a sweeper, just because you don't really need the extra ward as much because you can afford to pay for wards because they're cheap, and freaking buy wards, guys. Come on. Okay, so a lot of people kind of misuse the sweeping lens a lot of times. They don't realize like what all you can do with it. So yeah, you can obviously use it to clear out wards, but another thing you can do is, because it disables wards, you can just disable a ward and walk straight through a bush to do a gank. So unless your opponent is paying really close attention to the map and sees that, oh, my ward is disabled, they're probably not going to react as quickly as they normally would, or at all, to your gank. So that can be pretty good for junglers. Also, keep in mind that it disables vision wards. So if like you're having a ward war between somebody and you're trying to kill their vision ward and they're trying to kill your stealth ward, you can just use the trinket, the sweeping lens, and suddenly they can't see your ward anymore. So like little things like that are really nice. But yeah, like in the middle, I was saying in the middle of combat, you know, you can drop the Oracle's Lens, or you can drop a vision ward or a greater vision totem ward, and see those stealth units, which is nice.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
So yeah, other than that, basically I just want to talk a little bit about the Scrying Orb. Scrying Orb, for the most part, kind of sucks. There is like one pretty common usage of it. Like basically, if you need to check a brush that you can't get in range of, like, then the Scrying Orb is okay. So like sometimes I take it against Blitzcrank, because then, you know, I can see if he's invading at level 1 without having to face check a brush to ward it. Because of course the trinkets you can't use until 1:30, so like waiting until 1:30 and then putting a ward down, he could already be in the brush that you're warding and just grab you. So it's nice for that. It's also good on stealth champions, because what you can do is you can Scrying Orb into a brush and see like, oh yeah, he has a vision ward here, I'll walk through a different path.
Minions have spawned.
So that's good for Evelynn, although like those are basically the only usages for it until it gets buffed. I do expect it to get buffed pretty soon, so like don't take this as gospel. It's things are subject to change. So yeah. Also, one thing you can do is, if you don't want someone to click on a unit, you can place a ward on top of it. Well, actually, I guess this doesn't work anymore, but you used to be able to do this, where specifically with Thresh's Lantern, although they changed it so that this doesn't work, but you could place a ward on top of his lantern and keep somebody from grabbing it, because they would attack the ward instead of grabbing the lantern. But yeah, like I said, it doesn't work anymore. And I don't know if there are actually still any usages for it in the game. There's probably some like rare case